Al thought that you should have Dr. Phil come talk to the team. Is there any thinking that might happen?
No.
Or having him?
Might bring Al in. I'll just have him tune into his radio show for a while and see if that helps him.
You made an adjustment this week with players' access to the media, and we talked about this last night. Other adjustments, and you don't have to give me details, obviously, but are there things that you're doing that are different this week than what you did going to A&M or going to Missouri?
Oh, every week's a little different, so.
But in relation to going specifically into another road game?
Bob, do you see enough improvement with your defense to avoid having to get into a scoring match with these last couple?
Well, I have. We sure saw it, this week. I think that's, the case has been, we've had a few breakdowns, at different times during the year, and so hopefully we can be more consistent. I do feel that we have a chance to play better defense here down the end.
What has Weston Box brought to you?
Experience and maturity, and a guy that has been out there doing it before, and it was really, you could tell, really exciting, for him, for us to see him really back in the swing of things a week ago, where the rust is knocked off, feeling back to normal, and that helps. He's a guy that has, that played all of last year, and is a good player for us, so that's going to help us.
Bob, you guys have blitzed a little more the last couple of games when you faced a Burrell or Corleris or Tannehill, go down the list. Getting pressure is paramount, but if you blitz too much, like you said, that's the risk in the cat and mouse game. Talk about that this week against Griffin.
Yeah, sometimes, sometimes they want you to blitz, and they got, certain schemes that they can set up and hurt you different ways if you do. So it's just something you're constantly, mixing in, and the more successful it is, if it's bothering them, you have a chance to do it more. If they're picking it up and hurting you with it, you got to be careful. So, but it's like that usually every week, but you have to watch it.
Looks like you haven't gotten burned too much the 2 or 3 games you blitzed a little more. Like what you've seen when you called it and how it's reacting?
Yeah, for the most part, sure.
You went through your offensive line, and I guess, what was the difference? Was it a technique difference? Was it that they just came off the ball better? Why did they have such a good game? And I guess I'm asking, can they take it with them?
I believe they can take it with them, but again, each week's a new. I have to prove it again. But I thought just overall the, fundamentals and blocking and executing were sharper than maybe at some other times.
It's been 2 years since you faced Robert Griffin. Can you talk about the improvements you've seen from him since that last time you?
Yeah, you just see he's comfortable in the pocket throwing the football, as well as he's always been able to, to run with it. But he's stays in the pocket and is throwing it more probably than he did then. And again, he's got a lot of good players around him that he's aware of and uses.
Does it still come down to stopping the run against them, because they run it very effectively?
Absolutely, it's a major part of the game, and but you're going to have to cover, because they like to take their big shots too, that we have to be aware of and hopefully stay on top of. But but again, a major part of it is definitely the run game.
Bob, do you feel like you're defending the run better?
Well, we did last week, to a degree, but they end up with a good number of yards. A lot of it's late. You got a big lead, but in the end, if you can hold them to 7 points, you're doing something pretty decent.
I know making plays is the basic thing, but was there anything that made that 2-minute drill work so well the other night?
Just execution. It's we felt that way. We get the ball back with whatever it was, 50. I think we had 55 yards to go, and I thought Landry did a great job of getting the ball out of bounds to James Hanna, getting first downs, and I don't know. I think it took a total of 38 seconds. So it was sharp, and but it's something we practice all the time, and like I said last week, in college football, you get a timeout every first down, so it shouldn't be that tough, really.
Of your fourth quarter problems, have you studied to whether the problems are more physical, or where the fourth quarter breakdowns have come this year?
Most of the plays, and I look mostly defensively, the plays mostly where we've given up have been busted alignments, more mental errors on our part.
So it's not like you're getting just physically beat or pushed
Well,
around
so,
or any of that stuff?
That may have happened if they had the same play and where we should have been, but, and so that could have happened had we been where we should have been, but when you're not there and you make a mental error and you start off, in a poor position, you don't give yourself a chance to find that out, in some occasions.
Can you talk about what preparation a team has to do for you? You say that some of these plays that you had last week were not new plays, but at the same time, it seems like you force a defense to be prepared for more things.
Well, if you really study us from week to week, we adjust, add wrinkles to formations we like, to change in different ways we may block the same play. Those kind of things as we go through the week to try and gain an advantage, so you're not always doing the same thing. Like I said, by personnel groupings, by changing routes, changing our play action passes where certain receivers will be, off of the fake run, or so we're constantly manipulating or trying to add wrinkles and change even something that you do fairly consistently, add a different wrinkle to it so it doesn't look the same.
Did you ever talk to the people in the Big 12 of why you played 3 of your last 4 games on the road?
No, Joe would, for whatever reason, that's how it ended up. What's it going to do for me? We're going to go play them.
Well, in the future, is this something you'd like to avoid?
That's fine. Getting ready to play them, so.
Actually, all the talk about your poor road performance over the years, you've always played well at Baylor, even considering when they've not been that good or when they've been pretty competitive. You've never not played well at Waco. Can that be a comfortable place for everybody? And
Well, I think in the end, every year is different. When you say, like I said, everyone talked, through 6, 7, and 8, where we won 3 straight Big 12 championships. We were 12-4 on the road, probably better than everyone else in the league. Just guessing, I don't know that, but in the end, so heck, I think we've had 3 regular seasons, right, that we've been undefeated. So we've got to be doing something right on the road, through the years, if you're bringing up years. But obviously last year was one year wasn't the best. We don't need to go back into all the different reasons last year wasn't the best in a lot of cases. But anyway, so. But, going to Baylor, hey, in the end, whatever's happened in the past, we got to go play this year. So that's why everyone brings up all these other years. They don't matter. This year's always a new season. You got to go play. And, we're anxious to go down and hopefully play well.
Well, you say every season's different. On this team, you guys scored 3 conference teams by over 100 here and lost by 20 on the road. That it just stands out there by the dramatic difference between the 2 home and road this year. Any explanations?
Ask those other teams, maybe they didn't play so well here. I don't.
it seems like teams, including your program, when you win on the road, you get a bigger charge out of it. And you've been sort of backed into a corner, not just by us, but by fans, by everybody on your road record. Now you got a chance here. If you win 2 in a row, you get to play for the Big 12 title. I mean, it would seem like if you win these 2 road games, it'd be a fairly, whatever the word is, be really a satisfying achievement considering
Absolutely.
the questions that
Because
about the road.
our whole deal is about trying to win the Big 12 championship. That's what it would mean. Whatever else, everybody always has their again, their road record. Like I said, go back to 08. What was it? Were we 5-1?